What is up, YouTube party people? So today I wanted to talk about a little tidbit, a little nugget, if you will, of information that I saw, and I wanted to share it with you because it is baloney. I'm just gonna read off the headline. Microsoft raises the price of all Xbox Series consoles. Xbox games confirmed to hit $80 this holiday. So as you can see, a load of fish paste, if you will. This is complete and utter tartar sauce, what they are serving to us. $80 games for one thing. We kind of expected that after the whole Nintendo fiasco. They took the band-aid off and everything is so expensive now. It is so bad. Let me just read you the prices. Xbox Series, actually no, I'm just gonna put it on the screen because everything is up almost $100 practically. They've been hiked up to at least $80, all of them. And keep in mind, this is the Xbox Series X and the S, which came out in 2020. This got me fucked up. I had to make a video on it because we are so cooked. Our economy is so cooked. It's actually a little funny how cooked we are. I said this before in the Nintendo video, but we are unbelievably cooked. We are being put on the grill right now. Everyone's wallets is being stretched completely thin. These are consoles that are years old. Instead of depreciating the way any console usually is, the longer into its lifespan it gets, the less expensive it should get, right?
It seems like it would make sense to me, right? Wouldn't it make sense to you? It would make sense to me.
No. They're appreciating. They're getting more expensive. I've never seen this in my life. This is the first generation of consoles I have witnessed in my lifetime where everything is more expensive the further into its lifespan than the other way around, except for like maybe the Switch. I don't know what the current prices are on the Switch because I already got my Switch. I've never needed to buy a new one. But in this case, the Xbox, you would have saved money buying the Xbox at launch than waiting 5 years to buy it.
Is that not insane? Am I not going crazy? We live in a society.
This is insane to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm under the impression that the further you wait, the cheaper it gets. I already said that. Let's move on. This is what they said.
We understand that these changes are challenging and they were made with careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development.
Ring bell, just like typical corporate shiza, we know. But I wanted to focus on fucking rising cost of development, which is like, I don't really understand what that means in this context. Does that mean games will go up in quality? In this case, rising cost of development, they can say that, but I don't really foresee any games going up in quality, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know what they mean by that because the fact of the matter is rising cost of development is not going to cover the DLC, the microtransactions, loot boxes, what have you in whatever game you play. They don't release complete games and they're going to be costing more because I'm telling you, they're just raising these prices just for shits and giggles at this point because they know people are going to pay for it, and I really hope that doesn't end up being the case, but it probably will. But it's BS that they're hiking the prices up and we're still gonna have to pay for DLC. They still be doing all that bullshit. And I hate DLC. Oh my goodness gracious. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I could literally make a video on just how much I hate DLC. I don't like it. I just want to buy a game and have it be complete. I'm okay with optional DLCs, where you don't really need to buy it, or I don't know if it's cheap. I'm willing to pay like an extra $1 here and there, but I am so sick of these games being released incomplete. It really irks me. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm too used to the way it was growing up. You buy a Pokemon game, everything's in there, post game, what have you, and I'm talking about the DS era and stuff. It's not like that anymore. There's always gonna be DLC coming out. At the very least, it's optional though. Because it's like, I don't hate DLC, but I will literally willingly give you an extra $20 if you don't fucking push DLC on me. I'm sick of DLC. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here. I just wanted to go off on a tangent about that. My ultimate point though is that the band-aid, like I said earlier, has been completely ripped off. We're at the point where Nintendo just ripped it off They're taking all the hate. Nintendo was the sacrifice. Nintendo can take it. Nintendo knows they are that girl. People are gonna buy that shit anyways. Pre-orders for the Switch 2, hella demand. There's no issue. The Switch 2 price ain't even that bad anyways. It's the $80 games that I take issue with. But Xbox right here, they saw Nintendo do that and they were like, let me raise the price of all the consoles. And these are year-old consoles, at least with Nintendo. This is a new console. And it makes sense, I guess. But in this case, they're getting greedy, bro. You are not that guy, pal. You are not Nintendo. Does Xbox even have shooters like that? Can someone tell me? Because I have never met like a die-hard Xbox fan compared to Nintendo fanboys, PlayStation fanboys. You're either a Nintendo head or a PlayStation head. But how many Xbox heads are there? Not a lot, right? Am I crazy for thinking that maybe this is a little too bold for them? Just saying. I've never bought an Xbox. It's the one console I've never owned. I've never owned an Xbox. Maybe it's my loss, but I never really felt like I was missing out. If you buy a Switch, you're gonna be missing out on some good PlayStation shit. If you don't have a PlayStation. If you have a PlayStation, you're gonna be missing out on a whole giant backlog of good Nintendo games. But Xbox? I'm trying to think, how many Xbox exclusive games are there? Because usually the Xbox exclusive games end up on the other consoles anyway? I don't know. I'm just saying. But speaking of the PlayStation, they are also raising their prices. Isn't that awesome? That's so awesome, bro. I'm so excited. The PS5 is getting more expensive in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand again. The company cites a challenging economic environment, including high inflation and fluctuating exchange rates, as the catalyst for the increase. Late stage capitalism, baby, let's go! Prices going up, salaries staying the same. You know how it is. You know how we get down in the late stage capitalism climate, okay? Like, damn, I don't even know what to say. At this point, like, it's not even their fault. Is it really so much as corporate greed as, like, it legitimately needing to be raised, I guess, because of the tariffs? But at the same time, I just cannot help but be disgusted and annoyed at this behavior, okay? I can't even be mad at Nintendo for being the first ones to do it because everyone went and bought out the Switch 2 pre-orders anyway. So I cannot blame them because shit, I would raise the prices too if I was the CEO because people are gonna buy it anyways. Y'all have no backbone. Can I just say, I don't know what the overlap is between people who actually bought the pre-orders and people who were complaining about the price hikes, but I gotta say, people got no backbone. Like, we are cooked. People are gonna buy it regardless. In my case, shit, if I get the money to do so, I wanna buy the Switch 2 so I can play Mario Kart. I'm a hypocrite. I'm complaining about the prices, but I still wanna buy it. I will own that, okay? Because I just gotta be real, like, fuck. What can you do, right? Besides pirate. Don't say I told you to do it. Don't say I recommended it. Alright, FBI? This isn't me saying anything. Nothing at all. Emulation? Dolphin? I didn't say it. Who said that? Who said that? That wasn't me. I ain't recommending it. I ain't telling you to do nothing. If you don't like the prices, don't do that. Don't do that. But, I mean, shit. Nintendo is that girl, I fear. It doesn't matter how expensive they're gonna get, the Nintendo boys will always buy it. I ain't even gonna hate because shit, I guess get your bag. Corporate greed wins again, I fear. It is what it is. Is it a shame? Yes, it is a shame. It really is a shame. For real, every hobby nowadays genuinely just getting so expensive. Everything. I guess I would say media consumption, like going to the movies, buying video games, buying books. I don't know. I pirate all my shit, okay? I'm done with it. Subscription services, I'm done with them. I am going to... FBI, open up! That was corny, bro. No, but seriously, I can't do this anymore, bro. How much money is it gonna take? How much money do they want from us? They see us as walking wallets. It's crazy. I am willing to pay money, but it's just becoming ridiculous. Sheesh. I don't know. I'm not an economist, okay? All I can do is point at the inflation and just be like, damn, that really sucks. It really is what it is. What can I do? And you know what the unfortunate thing about it is? I feel like even if the tariffs stop, the prices are not gonna go back down. I really don't think blaming all of this on the tariffs. I do blame like 60% of it on the tariffs, but I would say like a solid 40% is them finally finding a valid excuse to bump up the prices, because I feel like this has been a long time coming. In fact, the Nintendo prices were set before they took a moment to evaluate the tariffs. They've just been lying in wait, waiting to boost up the prices. It's been inevitable. You can just see the slow rise of the prices over the years. So I don't really think we're going back down anytime soon, unless like they suddenly saw like a huge decrease in sales, but I really don't think that's gonna happen. I gotta be honest. People need their slop in this country, especially in America. People need their slop. I need my slop. I like to buy my slop. I'm guilty of like just swallowing down the price increase, but I don't think it's gonna affect their bottom line too much, which is unfortunate. I really do think if everyone just came together and was like, just for like a year, don't buy any new games, work on your backlog, some shit like that, we would see an actual difference. But I don't really foresee that happening unless like the internet decides to surprise me. But the internet is not real. You see all these people complaining about the Nintendo Switch price hikes and then the pre-orders sell out. The internet is not real. Straight up, we're cooked. That's all I can say, man. We're cooked. In a way though, the silver lining that I see in this is most likely the fact that people will turn to more retro gaming because that's cheaper. What's stopping you from busting out your old DS and playing probably the dozens of games you never got to play? Never ended up playing that you just overlooked? I don't know. Shit, I still play my 3DS. I can bust out my 3DS and play all these games that I haven't played yet. I gotta play Dragon Quest VIII, which I have sitting on my pirated 3DS, and I haven't really done anything with it yet. I could just work on that. I don't need the new Xbox, or the old Xbox, if you will. I don't need the Switch 2.
Get that shit out of my face.
No, I'm just kidding. I do want the Switch 2 at some point in my life, but right now it's not very pressing to me. I think it would be nice if we all just collectively went back to retro gaming for a few years and just sat this one out. And indie games too. I do like indie games a lot, and they tend to be very reasonably priced. I think I'm just really ranting about AAA here. AAA is like where all the garbage is, but that is another toilet for another video. I think I've said my piece here. I just really wanted to rant about that, and that's all I got to say. Peace!
Bye-bye.